Morning. Happy Thursday. Amazon. Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's the latest from your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Tel Aviv to show support for Israelis as they respond to an unprecedented attack by the militant group Hamas. As NPR's Michelle Kellerman reports, he wants to see other countries in the region condemn Hamas's actions.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there will be many difficult days ahead. He's thanking the U.S. for what he called incredible support in Israel's war against the, quote, barbarians, Hamas. Blinken says it's hard to digest some of the atrocities carried out by Hamas.
The message that I bring to Israel is this.
Why you condemn all war?
You may be strong enough on your own to defend yourself.
Funding war.
But as long as America exists,
It will
you will
fund
never
war.
ever have to. We will always be there.
Fund war. Fund
By
war.
your side.
You will always fund
Blinken
war.
says Israel has the right to defend itself, but how it does matters. He says democracies value human life, unlike, he says, Hamas. Michelle Kellerman, NPR News, Tel Aviv.
Israel is gathering hundreds of thousands of troops on the Gaza border ahead of what may be an enormous incursion into the enclave. Israeli planes are bombing targets
Congress
in
is all
Gaza.
investing
Palestinian
in
authorities
weapons
say at
again.
least 1,350 people have been killed in the territory. Israel
They
has
love
also
war
cut off
'cause they make
water,
so much
food,
money
and
off it.
electricity to the enclave.
Heck with the people.
Gaza resident Afaf Najjar says she is
Cost lives.
terrified.
There's nothing that we can do. Even the place that I'm in right now is already almost out of water, almost out of food, and there is no fuel, so the electricity might be going out soon.
Members of Congress are investing in freaking.
It's horrific what is being practiced against the Palestinian people.
The U.S. is urging Israel to ease the siege on Gaza and allow humanitarian
Conflict of
aid to
freaking
reach Palestinians. The House of Representatives has not yet moved to vote on a new speaker. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports the House Republican Conference nominated Majority Leader Steve Scalise for the job, but it's not clear he's got enough votes to claim the gavel.
Deep divisions within the Republican conference are threatening Scalise's ascent to the top spot. The majority leader can only afford to lose a handful of his fellow Republicans in his bid for the speakership. In a post on social media, Congressman Chip Roy, a member of the ultra-conservative House Freedom Caucus, accused Scalise of pushing ahead too quickly in a move he called unacceptable and purposeful. Speaking shortly after securing the nomination on Wednesday, Scalise said it was crucial that the House reconvene in order to address challenges at home and abroad, specifically the newly erupted war in Israel. The Republican infighting has put the brakes on legislative business until a new leader is confirmed. Windsor Johnston, NPR News, Washington.
And then
On
it'll
Wall
be
Street, the Dow is
business as
down
usual,
more
right?
than 100 points. This is NPR. The Labor
Invest in
Department says
weapons,
consumer
start war.
prices
Invest in
eased
weapons, start
slightly
war.
last month. They're up
All you people do.
3.7% from what they were a year ago. Separately, the federal government has announced the cost of living increases that Social Security recipients will receive next year. Benefits will rise by 3.2%. Winners of the Kirkus Prize for Literature were announced last night in New York City. As NPR's Netta Ulaby reports, the prize recognizes writers in fiction, nonfiction, and young readers' literature.
Novelist James McBride is no stranger to literary awards. He won the National Book Award for Fiction 10 years ago, and his new novel is called The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. It's about a mixed-race community in Pennsylvania in the 1930s. Journalist Hector Tovar won the Nonfiction Award for his book Our Migrants, a meditation on race and the meanings and myths of Latino. And Ariel Aber-Greiger won for her book American Redux, an illustrated history that the judges called a rousing work of young adult nonfiction. Netta Ulaby, NPR News.
The International Olympic Committee is suspending the Russian Olympic Committee effective immediately. The IOC says Russia breached the Olympic Charter by recognizing sports entities from 4 territories that Russia illegally annexed from Ukraine. A spokesman for the International Olympic Committee says the suspension has not yet affected neutral Russian athletes. They may still compete in the Olympic Summer Games in Paris next year. I'm Corva Coleman, NPR News in Washington.
In NASA News. As space travel extends to greater duration and distance, missions may require a propellant refill in space. To achieve this, spacecraft may require larger tanks and efficient refueling, along with tanks that have the capability of isolating propellant from ullage fluid, a gas and vapor mixture, during a vent. The goal of this challenge is Marshall presents Small Business Awards for 2023. NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center honored top contractors, subcontractors, teams, and individuals of fiscal year 2023 at the 36th meeting of the Marshall Small Business Alliance. The event took place September 21st at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center's Davidson Center for Space Exploration. Around 600 participants from NASA's Ames Research Center in California's Silicon Valley will host a media briefing at 10 a.m. PDT on Monday, October 16th, announcing a new interdisciplinary initiative. The project will enable academia, private industry, and government to identify and develop innovative technologies across aeronautics, quantum computing, climate studies, social sciences, and more. Eugene 2, NASA Ames. It's easy to get swept up in the swirling starry arms of this intermediate spiral galaxy, NGC 4654, in the constellation Virgo. The galaxy has a bright center and is labeled intermediate because it has characteristics of both unbarred and barred spirals. NGC 4654 is just north of the celestial equator, making it visible from in weather. In Seattle, it's 53 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies.
Off. Amazon, tell us a joke.
A cocky guy struts into a bar. The bartender says, "Here, let me get you a rooster seat."
All right. Happy Thursday, everybody.